What is up, guys? Lonehawk here today, and welcome back to Overwatch. In today's video, I want to touch on a topic that's been in the back of my mind for a while now, and that topic is the status of Widowmaker right now in the game. In my opinion, she is far too weak for the game, and the reason I hesitated to make this video for such a long time was because I thought Blizzard would immediately notice that she was extremely underpowered and buff her, but they haven't, and in my opinion, I think Widowmaker is the weakest hero in the game right now. First, I guess we'll cover why I think that, then I'll tell you what I think they should do, but just looking at win rates right now doesn't actually give you the full picture. Lots of people like to look strictly at win rates to decide if a hero is good or not. If you do that, you'll notice that Ana right now is the weakest hero in the game, but in my opinion, it's actually Widowmaker. Widowmaker has the 5th lowest win rate in the game right now, only to be surpassed by Mercy, Tracer, Ana, and Winston. And this may prompt some of you to think, well, why aren't these heroes considered the weakest heroes? They all have a lower win rate. That clearly means something, Lonehawk. Well, that's true, but we have to also take into account a few other things. Ana, Winston, Tracer, and Mercy are all very hard to play. Some of you may be like, well, no, Mercy's the easiest support in the game, blah, 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 blah. Well, she actually has a lot more skill than you may think. And after her buffs recently, I actually think she's pretty good. And nobody's saying that Tracer is weak, and come on, people are complaining about Ana being too powerful right now with her ult charge. So these heroes aren't bad. These heroes just have a low win rate because they're hard to play. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Widowmaker is easy to play. I'm just saying there's a few things combined with the fact that she's extremely hard to play that make her the weakest. I mean, her win rate is one of the lowest, which we've already discussed. Her play rate is the 2nd lowest in the game, which actually inflates her win rate because the only people playing Widowmaker right now are the ones who know her very well. They can play her exceptionally, and they still don't manage to get a 50% win rate, which I don't find good. The reason I think Widowmaker is the weakest hero in the game is the fact that the risk-reward ratio for playing Widowmaker is terrible. You risk so much playing Widowmaker. There are a lot of good damage dealers out there, DPS heroes that are extremely solid. McCree is the best probably right now. He's so good. Reaper is another excellent one. Those are my 2 favorites right now. So picking Widowmaker just doesn't seem worth it. I mean, Widowmaker in concept should either be the DPS that has a huge impact in the game or none at all. But right now it seems like if you're not having 0 impact in the game and you're actually doing well, you're still not impacting the game as much as you would be if you're playing one of these other DPS heroes. Her damage is just too low when you don't land headshots, and landing headshots, not gonna lie, isn't easy to do. You have people like Tracer who are always moving. You have Winston who can just continuously jump around. You have Reinhardt's shield, which you can't shoot through, so there's nothing you can do there. It's just that Widowmaker doesn't seem to fit right now, and I honestly hope you agree with me because she's such a cool champion in concept. I mean, for real, snipers are probably the most favored class in shooter games. Everybody loves playing a sniper. It's just so much fun. You usually have a big impact in the game. It's super satisfying to land those headshots, and it's just a good thing for the game all around, in my opinion. But right now, it seems like Blizzard doesn't want that. I mean, I've said Hanzo, I don't think he's too weak right now, but it doesn't mean he's great. His win rate is still below 50%, so he's by no means an exceptionally OP hero. All of our OP heroes right now, the ones that with really high win rates, are those ones that are close range heroes. It seems like Blizzard does not like the concept of long range heroes at all. Let's go over the long range heroes really quick. You have Pharah, Hanzo, and Widowmaker. I guess Ana as well. There you go. 4 heroes that are considered, I guess, longer range heroes. And their win rates are 4 of the lowest in the game. It seems like Blizzard just likes close range combat. And I don't think that's good for the game. I honestly think they need to diversify that. That's going to really help the esports scene when you have comps that are based around long range engagements and others that are based around close range engagements. And it just maps that cater to different heroes. But right now it seems like almost all of the maps favor close range activity, and all of the heroes right now that are good, that have good stats, are close range heroes. So I think Widowmaker, and maybe even by extension Hanzo, needs to be changed. The only way I can think about doing this, however, is reworking her weapon or her kit entirely, because if we look back and we remember when she did a lot more damage than she does now, she was a little bit overpowered in many people's opinions, and we don't really want to recreate that. So we really need to do something to change her, or Blizzard needs to do something to change her if we want her to be balanced again. I've explored a few possibilities, and I think the main culprit here, the reason Widowmaker is bad, is to no one's surprise, her main weapon. The charge mechanic just feels wonky right now. When you're at full charge, yes, it works very well, and the time between shots is pretty good, but the damage still isn't. And if you're going to use an uncharged shot, or even a medium charged shot, it's really not even worth it, because uncharged shots do almost no damage. I believe an uncharged shot does the same amount of damage as the gun in its SMG mode, which is almost none, so it's not really worth using. And that begs the question, if it's not even worth using, why bother having it in the game? The uncharged shot is so terrible, there's no reason for it. In my opinion, Widowmaker's weapon would be much better, but not overpowered if it only had 2 charges. You can alter the time it takes to charge up so it's not just faster than it was before, and at least the uncharged portion of her firearm still does damage. I would really like a medium damage uncharged shot that she can use, and then one that if she charges it up for a long time, maybe like a second or more, it does a lot of damage. So it's not spammable, it's very bursty damage, and when you use the uncharged shots, it's a little bit more sustained damage. Something like that I think would be better to play with. It would take more skill because you'd have to think, well, do I want to charge the shot for a big amount of damage at once, or do I want a little bit more sustain? So you'd have to think about that. They could play with the fire rate, they could make it work, and in my opinion, I think that's what needs to be done. I'm sure there are other solutions that could fix the problem, maybe some simple numbers buffs, but I've said it before, I don't like numbers buffs. If a hero is underperforming and their numbers were higher before, they're not gonna, I feel like Widowmaker is just one of those heroes that will always be either overpowered or underpowered, depending on her capability to one-shot people. So just changing the numbers isn't gonna solve the problem. You're just going to create someone that's not balanced. I think changing her kit is the way to go. If you think you have an idea to changing her kit that may help balance her, be sure to leave that comment down below and tell me about it, and give me your opinions on my idea. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like down below, and I will see you guys all later. Be sure you follow me on Twitter, and I just made a Snapchat, guys, if you're interested in that for some reason. See you guys all later. Lone Hawk out.